evening, educators. This is the Global Educator Show. Welcome to a brand new episode. This episode is called Primary Education. This show is for parents and educators from all around the world to come together and talk about problems in the education sectors and how to create a safe environment and world for the next generation. Again, this episode is called Primary Education, where we discuss the world of primary education, common challenges, and at the end, how to overcome them. Today's speaker is a psychologist and an educator. Her name is Anjali. First of all, thank you for coming on our show to share with us what you're passionate about. To begin with, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Anjali Solanki, a psychotherapist and an educator. So, over the past few years, I've been deeply invested in the wellness and emotional literacy. And I've worked closely with children, parents, and educators, helping to foster emotional safety, development, and enriching environments, how they can create it, also handling how the world is changing and what are the requirements. I support schools to integrate social emotional learning practice in day-to-day life.
That's amazing. So I assume most of the students that you work with are younger children, right?
Yeah.
What's like the age range for most of the students that you work with?
So the age range of the students is they start from a very beginners, let's say three and a half, 4 years old, and it goes till 14 to 15 years old.
Oh, wow. That's a huge range.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the most challenging age demographic. A lot of teachers avoid or try to run away from primary school because of the challenges. And what would you say are the common challenges that teachers
Mhm.
face?
So the challenges that teachers are facing, I think, is the change that is coming with a full rush towards them. So education system, the children and everything has changed without providing, I think, the proper tools to the educators that you also be ready for the change. It is coming for you. And I believe that teachers are not just teaching the curriculum, now they have to learn how children behave, how they express, how they relate to others. And because children are also still developing basic skills like emotional regulation, attention span, and social understanding, so the emotional intensity of the work has increased from both the ends. But then the struggle is both the ends are not able to regulate how they feel. And I feel that's a huge clash that shows up in different settings in a classroom and the growth of the children and the educator at the same time.
What is your one main advice for these clashes?
So my one main advice is to have patience
Right.
and consistency with your efforts and changes.
I recently saw a study that a lot of teachers are quitting. They feel like the emotional burnout, the emotional draining is not worth it. A lot of teachers are choosing their self-love, self-care, and they don't want to be teachers anymore. They would rather be working at a coffee shop with less stress. So, what would your advice be?
That's a very beautiful question, and I would, start by saying that first they are human being and then they are educators. So the first as a human being comes a choice. I've seen that people who enter this field and the choice of working with the little ones, if they have chosen it, it's different. But if they're into it just because they have to, that is a different experience for them. So, two distinctions. And then when you work with younger children, you have to find love, something that they connect with. That is very important. But then at times that also fades away. So, what is the first thing that you can do is to understand that you are, first of all, human. These little ones are going to follow you. And the beautiful part about working with the little ones is they love you to eternity if they connect with you. So, not just being educator with them, but being friend and being open with them works. I've seen works really better in my experience and the feedbacks and the conversations that I've had with educators who enjoy working with primary, definitely there is exhaustion that you'll get one way or the other way. But there's a silver lining that you can draw as we are living in a world with boundaries. So you also learn to create it with your academics, your expectations with the children, because I feel there's a huge gap that comes where with specifically little ones, primary education, educator sees that if even a single child or a parent or anybody comes to them saying that this is your fault that the child is not able to do it, this is your fault, and they see it as their failures. No, it's not your failures. There's a very beautiful thing that I've asked each and every one among my school I'm working in is to do create very simple thing. Minimum learnings, maximum learning. If and tell it to the parent at the same time. This is my minimum expectations. These are the maximum expectations according to the age group, and we're going to follow it. We're not going to think beyond or after it. And I think that gives a structure and a peace of mind where they are not going to push them. And also having minimum and maximum expectations for themselves. So this gives a graph. This gives a visual representation for them to what to do and how to do. And there's last and most important thing which I tell everybody that because now we are getting a little bit flexibility that we can mold our academics however we want because of experiential learning coming into place. So use that, take advantage of that, create your own system in the classrooms where you do something that brings you peace and you teach it to the students. So I introduced the slow time where everybody in the classroom picks one book and then they read it for 15-20 minutes. You are not doing anything. Even the educator is just reading that book. If that doesn't work out for you, if you're not a reader as an educator, if art works for you, sit with your children, give them also space, play a beautiful music at the background. Build these 2 to 3 systems in your classroom. Do it alternatively. So you all come to a level where, okay, it's okay. It's okay, we are moving somewhere. And having a very concrete and visual structure in front of you for you and for your students at the same time. So when chaos comes in, structure is the only thing that's going to help you out. That, oh, it's okay. Yeah, this kid is falling here, great. I'm falling here, great. I'm aware about it. Where I want to go, tuck, 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 I have steps of it. So having all these things transparently, I think works best.
What is your advice for students who are neurodivergent? And what is a tip for teachers when it comes to classroom behavior management?
The most important thing I always tell an educator to not see it as something disability, but please see it as that the child has different kind of abilities. Having that shift of mind will set you on a very different path. That the child is capable of something different. As an educator, you have to push through what it is. You have to keep on exploring with the child what it is. And definitely, there will be times where there will be a huge resistance between you and the child that, no, I don't want to do it. But then you have to also bring the child out of their comfort zone because people are, since their existence, trying to put them into comfort zone. That, okay, oh, it works for you, that's okay. If that works for you, okay, let's not do that. So having that bond with the child also works really well. And most importantly, but classroom management that you use with other children are not going to work on them because everybody is different, right? So having a classroom which understand inclusivity, which understand that the peer group also understand what their um, friend need and the need and what they want, how they want. It is very important that children also understand individual differences and respect them. So this goes in a very longer run to just simply create these foundations. Let's see what is the ability of the child and how it's going to work for the child. Discovering it. It's a discovery for them. And once you discover it, it's good and set for them what they want to do, how they want to do it. And then inclusivity works in better because they feel that they're part of the group, they are not out of the group. So that is very important. I'll just share a quick example with you. So currently, I have 2 children who have autism in the classroom I work with. And then, they are in a habit of just eating anybody's food without asking them, drinking water from anybody's bottle, sitting anywhere, because that kind of understanding hasn't been there. For them, it's normal. So now what happens with the younger ones, they get irritated, frustrated, and angry, which is also not their fault. But as an educator, we come into place where we tell them, okay, these are friends. And it's okay, they don't understand it. Why don't we help them? If you don't like it, just tell them that, oh, this is not your water bottle. That is your water bottle. Guide them, help them. So these small changes in the classroom does wonders for everybody. And slowly and gradually, when they grow up, collaboration with the parents and extracurricular activity teachers works great. So yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. This question has been bugging me for a long time. Do we need to give students stimulations every day, every 10 minutes? Do we need to give them something new, new game, new ideas, new movies, new visuals, new pencils every week? Do we need to stimulate them? Or is this overstimulation killing their creativity?
Giving them stimulation every time for everything definitely kills their creativity because they're getting everything served on a platter. It Whatever they require, it's there in front of them. Whatever they want, it's there in front of them. I personally believe that even in classrooms, as we tell parents to have a restricted time, even in classroom there should be a restricted time, which is only necessary for them to see, right? And then the best thing I suggest is they're already overstimulated with so many things in their surroundings, at their home, around their friends. The best thing you can do is to give them slow times. So I have come up with this word slow time where I'll deliberately, even if they don't want, against their will, give them half an hour or 40 to 45 minutes just with books, or we'll just let them sit them idly, not talking to anybody. Sit with yourself, run your mind, think, because creativity comes from boredom. I have read it in multiple places, and I personally believe if you won't sit with yourself, if you won't sit idle, then there's nothing that original will come to you. You have to sit with yourself, you have to feel bored. And I think boredom is seen as something bad, but I think it brings best out of the people because then you connect with yourself, which has been, I think, lost skill over the time that we are progressing through. So let them be, give them time to think. Just let them watch window. Just watch the tree for 30 minutes. I don't care, but do that. It will bring something different. And I have seen the change because I practiced this last year and it changed children a lot. A lot. They, I've seen that how creatively they started thinking. And most of the times, sometimes they sat with the problems they had and just thought about the problem and different kind of solutions or things they could have done. A lot of reflection comes in the place. So these things are important, which only comes when they just sit idle or when they are completely focused into something that is not necessary in the moment and it is consuming a lot of attention and focus from them.
That's amazing. So let's talk about social and
Yeah.
emotional learning. This has been an important
Hmm.
concept that for my end, I know a lot of schools have been implementing. And the more
Hmm.
teachers I get to know, everyone is trying to say the same thing. So why not have a show where everybody comes together and talk about
Hmm.
the same thing, right? So I'm so excited that we're talking about social emotional learning. So
Yeah.
how important is it for a primary education?
Extremely important, extremely. And the reason is we are living in a world where the focus has shifted to individuality rather than the social culture. Everybody, even the children, the parents, due to the workload, parents are busy, teachers are also have their things, and then the students are also on the gadgets. Not their fault because of the culture shift. The things that are very important for humans to grow, feel happy, to feel connect, it's been lost. That's why social emotional learning plays an important role because it's not just about learning about yourself, getting to know or speak about certain emotions, but it's helped them to understand themselves, manage their feelings, empathize with others, and handle conflict constructively rather than getting hurt, which I feel is the most important thing because nowadays anybody says anything to anybody, that's a reaction coming out and there's no time to process what they're feeling. And during this time, I think social emotional learning It's an early skill which you can start at a very early age with each and every child. And it positively impacts their academics performance, their relationships, their long-term mental health. And I think it's not optional, but essential for everybody to practice.
What is one more thing about SEL that people should know?
I believe the most important thing is to stop using the words good and bad and extend the vocabulary. Because as an educator and as a psychologist, the most important thing is to make each and every individual aware about who they are and how they feel in different kind of situations and context at the same time. So not just telling them it's good thing, it's a bad thing, you're a good girl, you're a bad boy, you're a good person, you're a bad person. But more important is telling them that are you comfortable with yourself? Do you feel safe with yourself? Are you comfortable with your friend hugging you or just giving you a high five? And also, most importantly, when you teach them about each and every emotions and how they feel it, how they process it, they get aware about, okay, I'm comfortable, but I'm not feeling safe. Why? And this is very, very important when they grow up because it's not just about being physically safe, it's about being mentally safe at the same time. It's very important to know about their body because I think in India and in any country, because they are growing up, a lot of content they consume, they indulge in things which are too soon and they don't understand what it is. So, experiencing things, knowing they are comfortable and safe is very important. So, teaching children anything about SEL, I think the first step should be making them aware about what makes them feel safe. Are they, whatever they are feeling, it's safe? If it's safe, are they comfortable or uncomfortable with it? And if they are comfortable, are they safe with it or not? So, having that distinction with them, making them aware about this at a very early age is very important, I feel. Yeah.
How can parents assist their children at this age?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Very good question. Because I believe the school environment is the second home, but the first is the parents. And the most of the time the students spend is with their parents and their surroundings at the home. So the first and most important thing I tell every parent is to be emotionally available. First for themselves, and then they will be able to do it for their children. And let them make mistakes. Don't try to fix them because they're not broken. And then also the micromanagement that comes because they don't have time, which I totally understand. So they would like to do everything for them. And then when they grow up, they expect the children to be independent, but you never gave the scope to them. So it's okay, let them make mistakes. I always say this, give them responsibility with freedom. So if you want this, you have to be responsible for this and then let them handle it. It's okay. If they need help, they'll ask for it. Prepare them for the real world in a very simple way. And the most important thing is having routine and boundaries. That's very important to have a consistency, to build clear rules with kindness. That it's not tuck, black or white. There's a gray area you can explore. But then you also need to understand that there's a consistency. You have to have certain levels of, structure in a day-to-day life. And then for parents also, social emotional learning goes in the way. So there's a beautiful question, that came to me a week ago where parent asked me that I don't have time. I feel angry when the child feel angry. And the one thing I said, tell the child you feel angry, that their behavior, their certain thing has made you angry. Express yourself. Give them words to express themselves. Don't shut them or hush hush or give them an ice cream that it's okay because you are not able to process your emotion. So speak about it. And then the other thing is like stay curious. Stay curious with the children. Ask questions. They have a lot to talk, but you need to have good questions. They're not going to come and sit and tell you, Mama, this happened, Father, this happened, tuck, tuck, tuck. No, that's not going to happen. You have to ask questions. And I think the last and the most important thing is collaboration with whosoever is guiding the child apart from home. That's very important. Stay connected with their sports coaches, academics, their extracurricular teachers. Stay connected with everybody, even with the grandparents if they're spending too much time with them. Stay connected, collaborate with them, speak with them. I think these are few things that are very essential for a parent to learn how to do.
What is an
Mhm.
example that your school or the work school that you currently work at? What is an
Mhm.
example that parents and teachers collaborate?
So the first and foremost thing is to have starting from minimum expectation from the child. That what are we expecting out of that little joy of bundle who is with us? And then the individuality of the child. This is what we try to collaborate on. That do not compare the child with the list that you have from your time or the list that has been handed over to you. You give the child his or her individuality and let them be. And then see where it goes, how it goes, and have patience. It is not important if the child is not able to write something or speak something, but there's a different way the child is expressing something they have altogether. So, focusing on what they already have and then slowly and gradually building what is necessary for them. This is what we try to collaborate on and have evidences of structures that how we can do this.
How can psychologists and teachers work together in the primary education world?
That's a very beautiful question. And, I've seen the shift of psychology being very important in day-to-day education. So, how we collaborate is that because teachers are coming from a background where they are taught how to teach. And when I, as a psychologist, come in the picture as an educator, I come with an experience that how to learn with the children and how to learn about myself as an educator. So there's recently I have worked on this training where we worked on having these circle times. So with the teachers, we had this training that let's first as an educators, let's sit in a circle and see how we express ourselves, how the social emotional learning is working for you. Because if you don't understand it, it will be difficult for you to bring it in your classrooms. So having that space of safe circle in the group and then working towards how to express. So we worked beautifully on each and every emotion, understanding what anger is, what to do. So it's not anger, shush, shush, take deep breaths. Let's learn how to express anger. And I think the most important role is the language. Language plays an important role. So in trainings, we work on how to communicate. We say that, okay, anger is this, sadness is this, or let's say your emotions. But what are emotions? Let's elaborate on your language. And we go through rigorous training, that how we can also implement our curriculum with social emotion learning collaboratively. How we can not put it in a different box, but how we can take all the subjects, all the academics, all the sports coming together, emotions coming together in a one place. So it doesn't feel that something is imposed, but it becomes day-to-day part of their life. So throughout the year, teachers go through rigorous trainings, first for themselves to see are they able to understand, and the trainings are beautiful. We make them do everything that they're going to do it with the children so they understand how it feels to be in their shoes. And the beautiful part is they are also experiencing it for the first time. So the feedbacks that we receive is, oh wow, this is it. I wish I had it when I was a child. I wish it was done with me when I was in the school. And it's transcend them differently. It's not just their growth that is happening, which we expect that all new students will grow, but educators are also growing and then they can bring it into their classroom. So yeah.
So, has there ever been a feedback from a teacher who came to you and told you, Anjali, I used the play or like the training methods in my class, and it has improved my classroom dynamic? Have you had any feedback from those teachers?
Luckily, yes, I did. So there was this, one thing I asked them to do was to just sit with them and, one by one, ask each and every child how was their weekend, what happened. And then the most important thing was questioning that, okay, what did you do? Okay, did you play? Did you not? And then they went on chitter chatter, and expressing themselves. And then the later on teacher came and was like, you were right. Circle times are not about doing weekdays or numbers or asking what's the weather, but it's about what happened to them. And then the free flow is going, they're expressing. So then and there, they understood that they don't have to be specific to understand what the challenge in the gap is. They just need to give them space to speak. So, as an educator, they'll grasp what is going on, what is happening, without even forcing the child to speak. So, that was the most important learning I've seen teachers have received from the circle time. They just give them space. They're just waiting to open up and get the space. So, they'll just tell you everything, and then you'll get the roadmap where to go.
Have you had any feedback from parents that they've seen changes in their child's behavior and emotions?
Here, definitely. So recently, a parent told me that, ma'am, the child has keep on asking me, you are angry? Why are you angry? Did someone hurt you? Because we have taught them that the anger is a second emotion. You get hurt, you get upset, then you get angry. So they have also learned, are you angry, mama? Why are you angry? And then she was like, I was scared. Why the child is talking about just anger? But then later I realized, okay, he's understanding. And then he doesn't tell me that take deep breaths. He's like, you're angry? You want to run? You want to jump? You want to let it out and then talk to me? So that was, I think, one of the most wonderful thing. They has that instead of saying, I'm fine. So I personally hate this statement where people say, I'm fine. No, it's okay. Tell them how you're feeling if you're safe. So that's how they say. So how are you feeling? I'm sad. So it's normal to say I'm sad. You don't have to feel, oh, why should I say this? So that's a huge change. Even parents are seeing them. So they have this little, we love it that they're learning about this. They're expressing themselves. So yeah.
That's beautiful. That's a great example. Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
amazing example. How would
Anytime.
you say the teaching styles have changed? Like, let's say when you were in primary school, how has it
Mhm.
changed in the past few decades?
Yeah. How the teaching, it's a very beautiful question, when coming from my time, it was all about just practice, practice, practice. Right. Learn, learn, learn. Not learn, I would correct the vocabulary here. Rectification. You have to note everything. You have to have everything on your tips. But nowadays, what is happening is that children are being given space to experiment. If you want to learn something, there are different ways of learning it. You just are not going to learn by writing one thing thousand times in your notebooks. No, you express yourself in different ways. There's a beautiful example I would like to share that with the little ones who are like 4, 5 years old, the numeracy we teach them, it's not just learning one, two, three. It's the reasoning and quantification behind it. We give them space to learn how it. So we have Jodo cubes, we have, different kind of objects. So how the learning happened, we just took them in the garden. They picked random things because they are children and they love things, flowers or rocks. And then when we came back into the class and then we asked them, okay, what it is, how many it is. And it just happened. Learning happened. Oh, I collected two. Oh, I collected three. This is how we do it. So this is how it has changed. It's about involving them into different things, making them socialize with them. So they also exchanged. If I give you one, you'll have four. If you give me one, I'll have this much. So learning addition and subtraction, not by, on the mark of your head that you have to, but then in a very simple way where it wasn't forced, it just simply happened. So I think learning is changing that way. It is just happening now. We don't have to force it on them. But it's a huge change, and we are still waiting to make it a regular practice in each and every place. So yeah.
Yep, change takes a step at a time, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive that it's headed towards in a more positive way.
Yeah.
Talk about parenting styles. How do you think they've changed in the past decade?
I think parenting style has changed a lot. The very clear distinction I see in majority of the parents is that from authoritative to attachment style, it has moved. So first it was do what I say, and now it is overprotection because of a lot of information, but not proper information that parents have nowadays. So I've seen that parents today are more emotionally involved, but sometimes it leads to, being possessive or overprotective about the child. So here, for them to understand where to draw a perfect boundary, that they don't impose how anxious they are about the child on the child. So that's why separation anxiety between the parent and the child has increased over the time. And then also, how technology plays an important role. So I always talk about this that, how we have, basic meals. We should also see technology as a diet. What are we consuming? How we so if you consume junk food, what happens? If you consume this kind of content, what happens? So stating it very openly with the children is important. And also misperception about gentle parenting, the trends that are going on. That's a very misinformation that has been, forwarded. And then parents are also following because that is everywhere. So gentle parenting is not about the child is throwing tantrums and you're like, hi, honey, please get up. No, it's not about that. It's completely different thing. And then the last and most important thing I'll see, oh, the overload of the information parents have, the half information that they carry. So it's very important to stick to simple information and to the experts. Just ask doctor if there's a concern. Just ask the school teachers if there's something. Don't look for random Google searches or Instagram or any platform where you just see 5 seconds clip and you build on something, a tagline, but without the information. So I think that has changed a lot. And I think also not trusting themselves completely, relying on different things. So that's I think that's a huge gap I have seen. Also, this is a struggle that parents are also facing because for them also it has changed completely. What to do now?
Let's dive into the misconceptions about gentle parenting. What is another
Mhm.
example of how people are
Mhm.
perceiving it in a wrong way? Yeah, what's another example?
So for gentle parenting, I would say very simple example, I'll just relate within what happened to me a few months ago. So there was a child who was, saying that a lot of word like oh shit, throughout the class. And then I was like, okay, Ryan, I'm just using a hypothetical name of the child here. So, okay, I see that this is happening, but this word really doesn't go with the situation. And this word means completely different thing here. So why are you using it? My mama use it all the time. And then I spoke to the mother, and then she told me that, oh, I'm so sorry. I just say it, and he is also picking up with me. So I told the mother, see, I will say it so he won't understand because he didn't learn it from me. But if you are going to tell him that, okay, this is the word you picked up from me, I'm so sorry that my language was not correct at the moment. So let's not use it. Let's respect everybody and not use language that's going to hurt somebody. So the mother was like, okay, I'll do it. So this is how you draw a boundary with a assertive tone with the child that they understand. But then in front of me only, the parent was like, oh, my honey bunny, something like that, she said, you know, and she was laughing, like, don't use this. You cannot copy me. I'm an adult. So I think this is not gentle parenting. This is just you not able to understand that this is not drawing boundary with your child. You are gentle, but then you are gentle without boundaries. And then you are also not understanding the intensity of the situation in the moment. So this is, I think, one of the very day-to-day common examples that I've seen with parents.
Even though teachers may be working hard at school, if there's no result at home or if there is no enforcement at home, the students are going to, kind of disregard the effort of teachers. How can parents help foster empathy at home?
The first thing I always tell a parent is it's okay to accept your mistakes. That's the first thing you can do in front of your child. That if you did something, apologize. If you made a mistake about something, you messed up something in front of them. Oh, I can fix it. Let's just do it again. I'll try it again. And this is how they, foster empathy, self-awareness into children by doing. Because I think by the age of 12, 13, they're still observing their parents, that how they are handling situations, how avoidant they are, or how involved they are. So being completely transparent about certain things that are important with your children is essential. So not putting it under the rug, but it's important to speak about it. And the very most and A beautiful example of it goes like this, that a parent was very angry, and they were getting late for something. So what they did, they hushed the children into the car, and then by mistake the child sat on the sweet box, and then got a slap from the parent. And the child had this question, "It was not my mistake, you rushed me in." And then they had an argument again. From then and there, the child learned this, that if you are angry with something, if you're rushing, it's okay to let it out on others. Not processing your own emotions, but letting out on others. But the parent was very calm and was understanding. So after just a minute, the parent realized what they did. So they sat with the child, apologized, "I'm really sorry that it's not going to happen again. It was my mistake that I was not able to handle my frustration and us getting late to an event, which is very important." So this is how you have to show them. Speak about it, respecting your feelings and their at the same time. So I think this is one of the most beautiful examples where parents can see how self-awareness, emotions, conversation comes in one place altogether.
Let's talk about social media consumption. What is a
Yeah.
proper amount of time a child should be spending time on the internet and social media platforms?
Technology is involved in day-to-day life of the children for their projects, for their learnings. It has to be there, which is completely okay and understandable. When it's come to especially about consuming the content from different kind of social medias, I believe that there should be first a conversation with children according to the age group. So I think by the 5, 6 years, parent can control what they watch, what they don't. But after certain time, parents do not have control over what the child watches and what they doesn't. Having the conversation with them about, okay, this is your particular time, giving them structure. That, okay, this is your time. You do whatever you want to do, you use whatever you want to use, and that is okay. And also the distinction I've seen is that allowing them, you can have conversation with your friends, but telling them at which platform. Don't use multiple platforms to have conversations because they are on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Snapchat. Oh God, one conversation happening on 6 different platforms for them. Too much stimulations and also scrolling going on, multiple medias going on. Personally feel that they should draw a boundary. If you're having a conversation, have it on one social media platform. Because the most problem the students have is like, "I'm not getting to use my phone. My friends are waiting for me. They want me to message me." Have one platform for that and be patient with your conversations. And then when it's come to using any kind of social media, telling them that, okay, you may see this kind of content, you may see this, but also telling them the reality of it. That, okay, you may see talk about, let's say, drugs, you may see something that is sexual, you may something that is harming. Also having this conversation that these things are happening, but what is natural process of it, how much fake it is, how much real it is. Having those open conversation is important so they don't get influenced with that content. They know, would they want to be part of it or they don't want to be part of it. So it's again responsibility with freedom comes with them. And it takes time. It takes time for parents and child to handle that.
One important part of social emotional well-being is that students have to be aware of what they feel sexually. As a psychologist, what are some tips for parents or teachers on how to educate the next generation about sex education?
Hmm. So I feel that it is very important that we start talking about sex education from a very early age with the children, making it normal. Because I feel something that you already say no to, or something that you try to hide, they want to explore it more. And I believe then and there it becomes extremely difficult for anybody to control what they do and how they do and how they feel about it. I have taken, sex education sessions from grade nursery till grade 12th, and it has been a beautiful journey because it gives a structure to me also to understand where everybody stands. So, talking about first saying sex without laughing. It's a huge important part. So in the initial, when I asked students to come and sit with me, and then I told them it's sex education session for you, and they all giggled. They all were blushing, and they were like, "Shh, kya hoga, kya hoga, what will happen? What will happen?" So that was there. Then I asked them, "Okay, when I speak about sex, what makes you laugh?" And they were like, "It feels ashamed. It's shy. It's weird." These are the feelings associated with the word sex education itself. So the most important part I saw was to change the feelings that you associate with it. Make it normal. Just completely tell yourself that it's okay to talk about it. There's nothing to be ashamed about it or feel guilty about it. Because I feel this is how the understanding of sex has been imposed on each and everybody, even to us, that it's difficult to talk about it. What if somebody judges? What if somebody says this? What if somebody says that? So, and then, most importantly, people assume that sex is just physical. I believe it starts way before that. It's not you being attractive to somebody physically and then getting involved with the person. No. It begins at a very early age where you have to tell them that it's your body, it's your mind. So before you understand your body, you have to understand your mind. And when we talk about understanding your mind, we start talking about how to label your body properly. It's very funny how the little one says that my pee is hurting. It's okay, you can call it penis. Let's normalize that. Let's normalize calling your hips hips, not tushies. Let's normalize the body part's name in the beginning. If you cannot say the name correctly without feeling shy or ashamed, then the whole purpose of sex education diminishes, I feel. So, starting from the very basic, that let's normalize talking about it, let's normalize the vocabulary in day-to-day life. Let's associate different feelings with it because it's important to understand how you feel, what you feel. And the most beautiful questions that came from students were, okay, we understand the physical part of it. Okay, we understand body names, we understand labels. Could you tell us how sex works? And then be open with them about the language. I believe whosoever is working with them on this topic, it's important how they are telling them, how they are normalizing it for them. And then, the most beautiful thing is they come up with questions. What is love then? What is a happy relationship? Is it toxic? What are red flags? Also covering these topics into sex education. So I believe the physical parts, this is how I went with them. Understanding your mind, understanding your body. Once you do this, connect both of them, that how your mind and body is working, how it making you feel, how are you detecting the situations, and how who you are, identifying that who you are, what you want. And then most importantly, the importance of consent. Very important. Even for just taking a very simple thing from somebody, ask, wait and listen for the response. And whatever they respond, act accordingly and normalizing it. And then moving forward with, okay, relationships, your friendships, how do you feel about it? And then talking about red flags and green flags in their term, that what is healthy and what is not healthy for them. And even if it's a social pressure rise, right? That it is happening, it's happening on Netflix, it's very common, let's do this. But understanding that, okay, somebody told me that if I'm feeling this, I'm not feeling comfortable, somebody told me you can get out of it, and that's completely okay. So that boosts their confidence if they are in the actual situation. And then coming to the physical part of it, how it works. So associating, so when you take it step by step, one by one, when it actually happens for them, they're able to associate it. Oh, I'm comfortable. Is it okay to feel? Does this really happens like this? And then the content and videos they consume over the internet, letting them know you can watch it, it's okay, but it's not real. That's not how it works. And being open to them, and they come with a lot of questions, making it normal. Just imagine a student just came to me and asked, ma'am, I've heard this somewhere that even if you wear condom, you still can get pregnant. Is it true? And it was very normal for the child to ask this question in front of other 30 students. So creating that space, having that openness. They also spoke about, okay, are there sex workers? I've heard from this uncle, aunt talking about it. So this is how they also get information. But you being open about it is very important. That make it normal. It's like you are educating them about something. You're not just pushing them about, don't do this, don't do that. You tell them don't do this, don't do that, and that's the first thing you're gonna do it. So I think even for parents, it's become difficult for them to break that taboo of talking about sex. So first, when they come to us, the parents are like, we are very happy. The school has taken the initiative. We are very happy. Any doubts, we tell them, go and ask your educators, go and ask your counselor. And I have told them, if you don't know, just let us know. And you also come with the child. We'll help you out. That's okay. It's a bridge we are trying to build.
That's
So yeah.
amazing. I love how you're creating a bridge among teachers and parents and the students. That's all this
Yeah.
show is about. And if we all can work together in the best way possible, and that's where the students benefit the most. And that's our ultimate goal, basically, for the students
Yeah.
to benefit as much as possible when it comes to social skills, life skills, emotional intelligence, right? So, what would you say is like a proper, a right age? Oh, no, sorry, what age should parents or teachers start teaching their children about romantic relationships?
Hmm. I think that's a very subjective experience of each and every child. But I believe now, because the researchers and how the experiences goes, I think as soon as the child turns 7, 6, like they touch 7 and 8, because now the puberty age has also changed. So now the puberty is coming very early among the children. So starting it from 7, 8 and normalizing talking about these things. So they're already prepared when they get into such situations. And even if they have questions, they can ask question anytime. So that's your ding 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 alarm. Ooh, okay. Let's just speak about it.
Speaking of um, sexual content. A lot of the information
Hmm.
the students or children are getting is from social media.
Yeah.
So, how can parents not micromanage, but monitor what type
Hmm.
of content their children are watching?
Hmm. Hmm. So I believe that parent can and cannot control it. If the child wants to see it and is interested in it, they are going to. The main thing that I've understood here is to, as an adult, what you can do is to take the power from the content because the child is curious. The curious mind will wander anywhere to get the information. So take a step up and normalize that questioning and curiosity of your child. That's the best thing, and that's how you take the power away from whatever they consume because they got the information from an adult they trust and you normalized it.
As we wrap up, what is your one last message to any parents or teachers listening?
Mhm. Yeah. So my message is that don't think that you are failing in something if something doesn't go according to you. You are also learning because world is changing, everything is changing around you. So have courage, have patience with yourself because you are doing best you can with the information you have. So next step is for you to look for correct information from a correct person and then move forward with whatever challenges you faces. And you all are doing great job with what you have. So yeah, that's my message for them.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening. This is Baika and Anjali, and make sure to follow us so you can get notified for any new episodes just like these. Goodbye.